I just wondered what you announced as being the things that bothered you about Britain that you wanted to bin.
People who shout at me on bicycles.
Yes.
People who shout at me whilst I am on a bicycle.
Yes.
And also, people do shout at me sometimes when they are also on bicycles.
What prompted this? What prompted this business about people who shout at you on a bicycle? There is a story about that, isn't there?
Yes, I'm just trying to remember what it is.
A woman.
There was a woman, yes.
Wrote to the...
It's just a momentary blankness descended. It's perfectly true that I was cycling and...
As you do.
As you do. And as I do, yes. Do you? And I was talking on my mobile phone while cycling. And I was at no risk to anybody else, and barely any risk to myself, because I was hugging the shore hugging the pavement, hugging the curb, like, you know, a ship in the ancient world, hugging the coastline. And I was going very, very slowly, but a woman overtook me and said, "Get off your phone." And she then said it was illegal to talk on your mobile phone whilst riding a bicycle. And I was able to tell her that not only was it perfectly legal, but that insofar as I had anything to do with the promulgation of the laws in respect of riding a bike and talking on your mobile phone, I would make it my work in Parliament to prevent such a law being enacted. And we had a lively exchange of views. And I think, in retrospect, actually, that she wasn't wholly wrong.
But she shopped you, didn't she?
She then shopped me, yes. She grasped me up. She dobbed me in to the readers of the Daily Telegraph, and that was a very no sterner audience can you have.
Absolutely. So. But what was your succinct reply to her on the bike? Do you remember? It's quoted.
Yes, it's alleged that I said bollocks to her.
You wouldn't do that, would you?
Well,
not to a lady.
She dobbed me in. Well, what can I say? That's her kind. I don't deny it. I don't deny it. She was wrong. She was wrong about the law. She was, yes.
How are you going to divide in the future? A few final questions. I mean, between they've got this balancing act at present, which you can well do between, I suppose,
on a bicycle, yeah,
editing the magazine on a bicycle, and being the member for Henley. But I mean, will the political ambition take over? Do you imagine in the future? It's a tough job.
I've always wanted to be a member of Parliament. I spent 10 years trying to become a member of Parliament. I'm not going to give it in.
Yes. And the journalism itself, because some of the liveliest parts of the book are the interviews that you do with people. I could never imagine why people like yourself, I mean serious people with gravitas and political ambition, should want to get their arms around Ulrika Jonsson. Now there's a piece, there is an article that you wrote about dancing with Ulrika Jonsson.
Yeah.
Now, was it that you couldn't think of anything better to do, or was it a lifelong ambition?
Well, I was very happy to be given the assignment. I won't deny it. It was very good. She taught me how to dance disco.
Did she?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I thought I knew already, actually, but she was a very good coach, and you know, I wish her every possible success in her, whatever she's doing now.
Free zone with her as there was with Maggie Thatcher? Was the same?
I think I would put it in a different, different sort of... actually, a good point, yes.
Also, one of the extraordinary chapters in your book, it's not a profile, but it's an account you have of going out to interview Arkan, the Serbian warlord.
Yeah.
Do you believe in evil? Do you believe that...
Yeah, I do. I rather regret that interview in some ways.
Why?
Well, because I felt... I don't know. I was stuck in Belgrade. You remember we were bombing Belgrade, and for some reason I had a brilliant idea to go to Belgrade, and whilst we were bombing it from 30,000 feet, and I was the only Telegraph guy who'd get in there. So I rang up after a couple of days and said, I think I'll come back now. And they said, no, you're our man in Belgrade. So I got stuck there for about a month whilst we remember we bombed Belgrade and Kosovo and all the rest of it. And I got stuck with old Arkan. And he was always cruising around the lobby of the hotel, and he was this horrific mass murderer. There's no question. I mean, he was one of the sickest people who was operating in the whole Bosnian theatre of conflict. And yet, when you sit down next to a guy like that and you start interviewing him, it's very difficult to remember what a ocean-going creep he is. Yeah. And I don't know. I sort of feel a bit. I look back at that interview and I think I should have said
You should have said what?
Well, I did say...
You're a creep.
I should have said you're a creep and a thug and I'm not talking to you or whatever. But I didn't. And I got him to talk and, you know, got lots of...
Well, that's what a journalist does.
Yeah.
It's not your job to get yourself killed.
No, but it's true.
No.